Good afternoon here, YouTube people. What is going on with you all today? Ho ho. Yeah, like I was saying last night, these storms are coming. You see, all the pink area is where the ice accumulation is looking to have effect in my state, and Atlanta is one of them. So there is an actual ice storm warning starting tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. and ending 10 a.m. Monday morning. So, but Monday and Tuesday, we're going down into the teens. So anything that is on the street, like any types of water, whatever that might be on the street, it's going to freeze to the street. So this is why it's important to do all the essential things that I need to do at the time that I need to do them. The property manager at my place put out a storm warning for the area, and said that we needed to keep our heater on and make sure our faucets are dripping. That's for our safety and also for theirs, because if you don't keep your water running, the pipes will freeze up and then they crack, and then you don't have pipes, or you have pipes that leak very, very well. So, it's just preventative maintenance. And it's always good to, do as they ask. They said they will take care of things, so hey, if they're going to take care of things, why not? So I've taken all the precautions that I need. Like I said, we're going down into the teens Monday, Tuesday. I think it's going to be in the 20s Wednesday. So it's going to be cold all next week, I believe. But the coldest days will be Monday and Tuesday. And I don't know what it's going to look like Sunday. They say no higher than 35. So there's a possibility that the ice will turn into rain. We don't get much snow up until like 32 degrees or so. This is one thing that Jermaine always tried to argue, because I don't argue with people. If you want to be ignorant, that's you. But I don't try to argue with people. I just happen to know that the colder it gets, the more chance of the rain becoming ice or snow than anything else. But he says, oh no, it always snows at 40 degrees, 45 degrees. I'm like, how? But anyways, he was always that way. And speaking of him, I think I mentioned this, but the reason I called Jermaine a sneaky link is because there was this girl I was very much interested in. And he was going behind my back and talking with this girl and trying to basically get up in her pants and trying to keep me out of that picture, and even letting me know that he was going after her or whatever. So I I didn't really say much of anything on it because it's really been the only girl that I've been interested in since then. But now, within the last month and a half, I have about 3 or 4 different women that I would like to get to know. I mean, that's all I could say. Just because you can't really know the future of any one person. And, you got to really know them to, get involved with something of their nature. I don't want to involve myself with somebody that just there's no compatibility. She doesn't really even care about me. She cares about herself only. Things like this, they're just major red flags, and I don't even want to deal with somebody like that. I just soon they, stay to their own self because I don't want to deal with somebody like that. I've been too much into women like that. They've always concerned themselves with themselves. And that was, it's all about me, 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 me. That's what I was saying yesterday in my video. I don't want to deal with somebody like that. Can it be us, Can't we look after one another? This is why, I'm not saying those gold digger videos are real. I know they're staged, or at least one time they were. Maybe they still have some staging done in them because I can see that in a lot of their plots. It comes out to be the same type of talk, and I don't know, but nevertheless, I learned that from them because when these girls do their little, well, this, that, and the other thing, they only think about themselves and what's good for them and what's not good for them and this and that. I just really don't even want to deal with somebody like that. I just soon not, and so be it. But nevertheless, I just wanted to make that statement because there are many different women that, they just look at themselves like they put themselves ahead of everybody else, and it's disgusting. It really is, because I would never do that. Now, I have put women up on a pedestal, and they left me dangling, and I should not have done that because I should have been right up on that pedestal too. I mean, but I never did that. I just cared to boost them up, and it gets old after a while. It seems like you're just going through the motions then, instead of trying to be equally yoked with that person. It's like, they're swatting you with a fly swatter or something, and it's just a bad scene for me. I don't even like to look at things of that nature because it doesn't work out, and I see it over and over and over again. It's really terrible. But nevertheless, I just wanted to say that. So, according to what this guy here has said and what I've been looking into, it just looks like we're headed for we're headed for a bad fall as far as the weather is concerned. It's just nothing can come good of that. I'm worried about it, as I said. As long as I stay, I'm not out on the street. You would never, ever, ever understand how many cars that I have seen banging into each other, and cars coming off the road. Even though I would not drive, there were sometimes I walked to the store, whatever, which has only been like a block away from my house or whatever, and people come off of the street, go up over the curb and off into a ditch or something like that, because people are not careful. I saw a pickup truck flying down Old Dixie in Forest Park one day, and it had just snowed and there was ice all on the street and everything else. There was a woman and her 2 kids. She was walking on the side of the road. It's good that she didn't get hit, but she came within 5 feet of getting smacked, and her 2 children also. Just because some idiot on the road was driving fast and the road conditions were like that. He went off into somebody's backyard and hit the side of the guy's, I can't even think of the name of it, shed. It was like a shed. He hit the side of that, and I didn't even bother running over there to see if the guy was all right. There were other people that saw this too, and maybe they went over there, but I just felt like he was an idiot. So why am I going to stop and go ask and see if he's fine or whatever? I just went shaking my head. I was already astonished and in some sort of gaze, because I saw a woman almost get hit by this truck, and at some point in time, I just don't have any tolerance for these idiots out here. So I just walked away. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be a butthead or nothing like that, but this has been like 12 years ago. It wasn't like yesterday or something. But yeah, I mean, he just didn't seem like somebody I wanted to go and find out if he was okay. Like I said, there were a couple of other people outside, and I seen one guy walking down towards where he was at. He got out of his truck and he was shouting and stuff like that. It's his own fault. Plain and simple, it was his fault. So, like I said, I didn't really even care to worry about anything like that, and that's how it went. Anyways, I'm still working on my book. It is due to come out. This will be like an autobiography, but it will be showing people how to come out of certain situations. It will explain that it doesn't just take certain things to happen for other things to happen, because people, they explain the law of attraction and this and that, and what does the Bible say about this, and what does the Bible say about that. I'm going to explain all of this in my book, and you will be able to take acknowledgement of it and actually maybe become something that you were not expecting yourself to be, because this is going to enlighten many people. I'm telling you, it will enlighten you a lot. because there are things that people should know. And a lot of people do not know. They play things by ear, but there are conditions under many other things that will hold you back from certain blessings and things like that if you do not take heed in them. And and people be like, well, why is this guy like this? Don't ask why other people have blessings and you do not. Don't ever ask that. Just do what you can do. But I can show you that it will change your life forever and ever if you listen to what I have to tell you. And, the book is going to be like, I don't know, I haven't decided, maybe $35, $40. But, hey, why not, right? If I could sell 150 million of them, look at how much that is going to be. But it really doesn't matter. Like I said, if I won the lotto tomorrow night, I would still only take like a quarter of that money and invest it in other things to actually gain more money, to then again turn around and give that money into certain other things that will help many people. It doesn't have nothing to do with myself. I do not understand why people could have so much money like that and they don't want to help anybody at all. Why? You can't take it with you. And really, who is it helping? You could keep a certain amount for your family and your family's family and your family's family or whatever like that. But at the end of the day, if you got, let's just say you got like Elon Musk's money, or Jeff Bezos, or Bill Gates, or somebody like that, okay? They can afford to give every single person $1 million, yet they won't do it. Why? Why will you not do that? Why? It's all about helping other people. I mean, I can't just take $1 million and give it to somebody because I don't have $1 million myself. But if I did, that is what would happen. Because as we look at it here, it's not helping anybody, and you got all these people. Look at the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and things like this. I mean, these names go all the way back to when I was a kid and before that. Look at the Flintstones. They had a family that was called, I think, Rockefeller. Maybe it's not Rockefeller. That's who they were talking about. And the Rothschilds and things like this. They always had these names that they were throwing around, but those people really existed. and they were throwing them around like they were just, these goofy made-up names. No, they actually exist. And these people, they don't care about you for the life of them. Not even a little tiny bit. And they're only looking to make themselves more enriched. Why? There is nothing on this planet these people cannot buy. So why do you need more money? I mean, truthfully, they could go anywhere on the planet. They could buy their own spaceship, like Elon Musk. He can buy his own spaceship. He owns spaceships. And go and do whatever he wants to do. Fly from here to there to everywhere. And then so what? You know? And it's just garbage to me. It is. You know? I wouldn't dream of keeping anybody out of that circle, you know? Of course, I would not give 50 grand to a major drug addict or something because he ain't gonna do nothing good with that, okay? But what I would do, get him help and spend that money to get him help, and then also have the resources to teach him how to get that wealth on his own. What he does with it is up to him. But once you get them the resources and the help they need, chances are they won't go back to that type of life again. You know, that's what it's all about. But they're, you know, and I'm not speaking downly on these quote-unquote church people out here that help people. You know, it's all fine and good. You know, they have these little soup kitchens. Guys come in, they eat. Okay, well, at least they're not hungry. And then they give them little things, you know, even bigger things like backpacks and sleeping bags and tents and things like this. Yeah, okay, that's great. That's super. And I know people even on the street, you know, people that live in apartments and houses out on the street, they will give homeless people also things. But at the end of the day, did they do something? Yeah, they did something very temporary, okay? But there are different things we could do to help different types of people. You know, Donnie Wiggins, she was talking about in that video of a guy she saw on Instagram that bought another guy, a homeless guy, a house. Okay, nothing wrong with that. That's great. That's great. But what went on from there, you don't see. That's things outside of what you did see, okay? So let's say you bought the guy a house. All right, cool. Who's gonna pay for the utilities and this and that? The guy's gonna have to get a job to pay for all of the extra things, even the home insurance. You know, he's gonna have to pay home insurance and this and that. There are a lot of things that you will have to do after that fact. It continues and continues. So that's one thing we'd have to know. What is it that will change to make that person's life so much better? And go after that. But that's what I'm saying. I look at helping the person because that is what I would do, okay? I thought about it when I was out there. What could a person do that could change my life forever and ever? And then I looked at it from that standpoint, and then I continued from there on. And I came up with it. Now I've got a book coming out, and I'm going to start doing as I'm saying. Because there's people that they'll say, but they'll never do. Anyways, I want you to know that I love you. I love you right there. Love yourself. Love my Father God. And by all means, love each other, people. Until the next time, love, peace, and soul.